This is a story called Gigi's Hands. Every morning I wake up sick and reach for the keys to Gigi's room. I'm in a great deal of pain, so I flail about wildly, knocking all kinds of shameful things off the nightstand until I can find the lanyard. Once I get the leather wrapped around a finger or two, I ooze off the side of the bed like snail slime and make my way to the bedroom down the hall. Ah, Gigi, it hurts! The door to Gigi's room is secured with a commando lock, total guard, cut-proof, eye-chain shrouded padlock, which is the only truly multi-functional tactical padlock with a ball locking mechanism for under $39.99. When I purchased it off Amazon, I couldn't afford it, so after it arrived, I packed up a computer mouse I stole from work in the packaging that the commando lock came in, and then I returned it to Amazon for a full refund through my debit card. You can do this if you choose the option to return your shit at Staples. They always give you your money back, and if they fuss with you about it, you can appeal the ruling and insist that you return the commando lock in its original condition and that someone at Staples tampered with the packaging and replaced the lock with the used computer mouse. The important thing about the lock for Gigi's room is that it's bolt cutter proof. When you open the door to Gigi's room, the reek that blasts you in the face will knock your socks off. You see, it's like bloody copper fresh death. It's like wet car batteries, a whole garage full of them, stacked from floor to ceiling. But Gigi means no harm. I shiver a little when I get the Lysol off Gigi's dresser. It's the coldness of the aerosol can that gets me, sending electric tremors through my nervous system when I'm sick like this. After I compose myself, that's when I get the spraying. I mean, I really start going crazy with the stuff. And when it runs out, I place an order on Amazon for another can, and then I return the empty can in the packaging that the new can arrives in. Gigi is in a wicker chair in the corner of the room. I keep the windows drawn to prevent her from spoiling, but the curtains don't connect at the center completely, so a thin beam of light escapes through and draws a white stripe across Gigi's frozen face, splitting her in half. Gigi doesn't move. Gigi never moves. Her mouth is locked open in terror, permanently aghast, her jaw stretched wide, her uvula visible even in the low lighting. Sometimes I think about what it would be like to toss something in Gigi's open mouth like a hibachi chef, but I never actually do it. I just stare into the gaping hole in her face and commit the rings of her throat to memory, because Gigi never moves. Gigi doesn't move. She is frozen in a pose with her hands up, as in fright, as if she's trying to cover her face to protect herself from someone or something. I reach out and break off one of her hands at the wrist, the right hand. The separation of hand from wrist is bloodless, as if someone or something has squeezed Gigi, strained her, drained her dry. I put the cold hand under my arm and hold it there between my chest and armpit while I break the other hand off too. With Gigi's bloodless hands in hand, I head back to the bedroom, each step more painful than the one before it. Oh, Gigi, it hurts! I lay down in bed and I get under the covers, holding Gigi's right hand by the wrist with my right hand and her left hand in my left hand. And once it's safe and secure under my comforter, wrapped tight like a burrito, swaddled like an infant, I place Gigi's hands in my mouth. Fingers first! I try to stuff as many as I can in there. I could fit all 4 fingers of Gigi's hand in my mouth if I position the fingers flat and out like a karate chop and then wedge them in the space between my teeth and cheek. This leaves me with the rest of my mouth for Gigi's left hand, which requires more space due to the cystic lumps along the back of it, as well as the scaly skin that dots the length of the index and middle fingers. A mouthful of Gigi's fingers is when I feel like I'm at my best. When I'm all stuffed. In addition to the 4 fingers of the right hand, I can get the left 4 in there as well. And I spit on the digits a bit to lubricate them. It makes it easier to get down. When I've got a mouthful of fingies and it's giving me chipmunk face, that's when I doze off for a bit, but it's not quite sleep exactly. It's nothing like sleep, but I'm not sick anymore, and it's just that it's more like not being awake, so sleep is the best date to compare it to. And I feel Gigi's fingers kick in and stare up at the stippling in the popcorn ceiling and wait for my alarm to go off. My position at work requires that I use a terminal to move numbers from one pile to another while I try hard to not think about Gigi's hands. At one point I was in accounts receivable, but earlier this year I was moved to accounts payable after the company I work for made us all take the Kiersey temperament sorter test. This test was supposed to determine our personality type and which position within the company would suit us best, but I've come to doubt the accuracy of the test, as switching me to accounts payable has made it exceedingly difficult for me to not think about Gigi's hands. You see, because the spreadsheets have these columns that are grayed out to indicate the columns should be left unused, and for some reason the combination of the faded gray tone and horizontal line remind me of her scaly knuckles and hand backs. Napoleon Bird, who shares a cubicle wall with me, is listening to Luther Vandross again. He turns the volumes in his headphones all the way up, so the music bleeds through, and I, too, am subjected to Luther crooning about waiting for love. I hate Luther Vandross, and I hate Napoleon, and the hatred only makes me wish I was back home under the covers with a mouthful of Gigi's hands. I think about how the callous pads feel against my tongue, how when I only have one finger in my mouth, it's painfully insufficient, so I have to keep stuffing in more, and it's still never enough. Napoleon must be eating kimchi again because the whole office stinks. It's so bad. The smell and the way he eats it directly out of the jar, scooping with his index and middle digits held together like a finger spoon. The kimchi smell gets stronger, and the music from the headphones goes, wait for love, you're gonna get the chance to love, wait for love, wait for love. And I realize that Napoleon is hanging over the side of my cubicle.
So what's up with all these new sensors they're installing all over the city, man?
I look away from my screen and take my glasses off, clean the lenses with my shirt. Sorry?
The sensors, the big white boxes they're putting in every corner on every traffic pole. That's what they're called, right? Traffic poles, he says,
dragon-breathing kimchi stench into my cubicle.
The poles that traffic signals are attached to. Harford Road, Taylor Ave, Ricestown Road. That's what they call them, right?
What now? I asked, and immediately wish I hadn't. If I wasn't such a coward, I'd find a way to kill myself right now.
Gamma rays, electromagnetic waves that penetrate your body and give you cancer. I got a buddy who's an amateur RF engineer. That's a radio frequency engineer, in case you ain't know that. And that's what he says. Says they're setting these things up to search for dirty bombs. Constantly run sweeps. Baltimore's a port city, you know. They would want to attack us here.
Napoleon burps into his fist, and I can taste the fermentation on my tongue, causing me to projectile vomit all over the computer monitor and directly into his stupid fucking moon face. The spew is thick, milky, and mauve with solid chunks of the kubedek kebab I ate earlier for lunch. I grab my coat and run out of the office all the way home as fast as I can, anxious to get back to Gigi's hands where I can make everything right again. Gigi sprouted new hands, which I snap off at the wrist like opium poppy pods. Her old hands, the ones that I used earlier this morning, lay at the bottom of the trash bin, drained and reduced. I started feeling the sickness shortly after I threw up on Napoleon at work. You see, the moles and scars that cover my body, the blemishes and ingrown hairs and rough patches of skin, they all start to feel like foreign objects. Like alien growths. Then my limbs too, my genitals, My testicles feel as if they would be better off pushed back inside of me or removed entirely. My penis feels like it was placed slightly off to the left of me, not dead center. And I want to pull it straight out and stretch it taut and clip it with shears and reattach it evenly. I want to pull the foreskin sideways until it's thin and transparent, until my genitals look like peeled crawfish. I want to break both of my arms at the same time. I just want to fucking die. But I run back to the room and I get under the covers and the smell is like gyros and falafel because I haven't washed the bedding in weeks, and then I'm stuffing Gigi's fingers in my mouth, gagging and leaking spit from the corners of it. I lay there soaking up the energies until the fingers in my mouth are all twigs and hard knuckles, thin skin that clings to the bones inside like saran wrap. I wait for the pain and the sickness to go away, but it lingers. This time it's not enough. I toss Gigi's empty hands into the bin and stumble down the hall to Gigi's room, disengage the deadbolt, and move as quickly as I can. Normally I can make it 8 or 9 hours before the withdrawal kicks in, but my tolerance must be going up. I figure if I can get more of Gigi's hands inside me quick enough, maybe it'll be like I did double the amount I usually do all at once. It hasn't been that long since I drained the first pair. There's Gigi. Unblinking as always, same position as always, infinite screaming, goldfish-eyed stare, hands removed, shiny red stumps poking out of each sleeve. I don't know what I was thinking. It'll be hours before she sprouts a new set. I go back to my room and I get Gigi's used hands out of the bin and I start scraping, trying to see if there's anything left inside. I paw through the trash, tossing aside Chick-fil-A wrappers until I can find the set of Gigi's hands. They're in even worse condition. I shove them in my mouth anyway. It's so dry, I try to get them down, but the inside of my cheeks are like sandpaper and I keep gagging her fingies back up. I'm losing my mind, I think. When I get to work, there's a police officer and one of my supervisors whose names I don't know and I deal with. The officer is standing and my supervisor is sitting in my chair. The officer has excellent physiognomy. His bell pepper nose and square jaw invoke an air of trustworthiness that almost persuades me to ask him to help me kill myself. But I'm just a little bitch, so I say nothing. My supervisor looks like a block of extra sharp white cheddar with a salt and pepper pompadour. He looks like something I can slice a piece off and chew on for a bit. I lick the roof of my mouth back and forth, and I can still taste Gigi's hands, and it soothes me. But then I gulp and hiccup, and I burp into my fist. Yes, my supervisor says, grimacing. Sit down, please.
Oh,
Sit.
Mike.
Oh. Wait.
Of course.
Yo.
Yes, my supervisor says, grimacing. Sit down, please, sit down. Thanks for meeting with me. This is my desk, I say. Yes, well, I want to have an important discussion about your performance here at T. Rowe Price. Over the past 3 months, we've spoken a few times about concerns regarding your tardiness and behavior in the office. Unfortunately, despite multiple discussions and attempts to address these issues, there has not been sufficient improvement. And just like that, I'm sober. It's like I never sucked Gigi's hands on the way to work moments ago. Like nothing ever happens and I'll always be nothing at all. I can't afford to lose this job, I tell him. Please! He sticks a pinky in his ear and then plugs it in and out like a plunger at rapid speed. Look, we're sorry it's come to this, but we believe this is the best course of action for both you and the team. I zoom in on his mouth and the piece of green plant matter stuck between his cuspid and first bicuspid. He seems to notice me staring because he starts flicking the food with the tip of his tongue, trying to dislodge it. I say, and he cuts me off and says, I'll personally ensure that you receive your final paycheck, including any unused vacation days. HR can also assist you with job placement or any other resources you may need. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. I'm back home and horribly depressed, so it's straight to the nightstand for the lanyard with the keys to Gigi's room. After losing my job, I don't know what I'm going to do. And when I feel this hopeless, this miserable and worthless, all these words with less in them, Gigi's hands are the only thing that can stop me from killing myself. Her new hands haven't had enough time to fully form. Small, immature things, swollen and red. The fingers are webbed like those of a first trimester fetus. I really should let them develop, but I break them off anyway and shove them in my mouth. I do it so fast, so aggressively, that I almost start throwing them back up, and that warm rush of calm hits me, and I piss myself until the world turns gray. When I wake up on the floor and spit out the used up hands, something is wrong, because Gigi has moved from her seat in the corner of the room. But Gigi doesn't move. Gigi never moves. How could this be? Her chair is where it should be, but instead of her wicker chair, in its place there is a propped up piece of cardboard with the word chair written on it in what looks like red paint. I roll over on my side and turn to face what should be the open door and entrance to Gigi's room, but instead of an open door, the wall has no opening at all. It's just a blank wall with the word door written in the same red text. I feel a presence behind me, something dark and angry. I want my hands back! It's Gigi! It's Gigi! But she doesn't say it exactly. She thinks it into my brain and it burrows in there like a sand flea. I turn and look up at her. She stands above me, strong and regal, hair perfectly coiffed. Her mouth is no longer frozen open. I want my life back, she says, rather projects. She stares at me. She holds her handless arms up and squeezes her eyes shut. New hands sprout from the wrist. It happens fast. I'm on my back and Gigi's on top of me. She clenches her teeth, eyes rolling wildly. She squeezes me with her thighs and I can't breathe. And I look into her eyes and I see a deep sadness. Because under all that rage, there's something else. A part of her that wishes things could be different. So I mull it over, let go, try to empathize, put myself in her shoes until I feel my windpipe snap under the familiar grip of Gigi's hands. Thank you.